Welcome to Hangover Reviews. Today's review is on podcasts. There's a reason for that, but I'll get to that at the end. More and more I find myself turning to podcasts when I'm hungover. It's pretty good to lie in a dark room and just listen to people talk. With the right podcast, it's the perfect distraction from your hangover without being too mentally stimulating. I'm going to talk about a few of my favourites and how they are with a hangover. I'll put links or information about them all in the description. The Nerdist podcast is a popular one. They have a lot of great guests and very likeable hosts. The conversational style of interview makes it very easy to listen to with a hangover, obviously depending on the guest. Sometimes it can get a bit too high energy, which can verge on annoying if you're severely hungover. Sanspants Radio is a podcast network from Melbourne, Australia. They have a lot of great podcasts. The one I want to talk about in particular is D&D is for Nerds. D&D is for Nerds is a Dungeons & Dragons podcast, as you may have worked out. It's what's known as, in the world of RPG podcasts, as an actual play podcast, which means they actually play D&D in it. And if you've listened to actual play podcasts before, you're probably thinking, listening to people rolling dice and reading out numbers, great. This one isn't like that, it actually gets it right. It's really enjoyable to listen to, it's a lot of fun, and the DM and the players are all really funny. And it's really good to listen to with a hangover. And it comes out on a Saturday, perfect timing. Listening to descriptions of violence and horrible monsters is a lot easier than seeing them too. It does, however, like any good D&D game, have some emotional moments. But all in all, I highly recommend this one, even if you're not into D&D. I discovered Sanspants Radio through another Melbourne-based podcast called The Weekly Planet. The Weekly Planet is a weekly movies and pop culture news podcast hosted by YouTuber Mr. Sunday Movies and his friend Nick Mason. It's another really fun podcast. And you'll know if you've ever seen a Mr. Sunday YouTube video that he is really funny, and so is Nick Mason. Would highly recommend that you check this one out if you're into movies and comics and shit like that. Which if you're this far into one of my videos, you probably are. For Hangover, this is another great one. During the early episodes, Mr. Sunday would often mention that he was hungover while recording, so you know the energy levels would be kind of pitched right for your condition. Sometimes they do move a little quick, it's hard to keep up with a hungover brain, but still, I highly recommend this one. Star Wars Minute is a daily podcast in which they talk about the Star Wars movies 1 minute per episode. I realise that sounds terrible, but it's actually really great, if you're a Star Wars fan, which, surprise, I am. Obviously I'm not going to recommend this one to anyone that's not that into Star Wars. If you're a fan, however, give this a try. The hosts, Pete and Alex, are fantastic and really easy to listen to, and they get great guests. It's usually fairly short, 20 to 40 minutes an episode, but it comes out every weekday, so you could save up to 5 and that would get you through your hangover quite nicely. And if you're going to start listening to it now, I would suggest going back to the start. And I would recommend listening to this one with a hangover. I do, often. If you're keen to learn something while you're hungover, I would suggest you check out the Stuff You Should Know podcast. It's a podcast where the two hosts, Josh and Chuck, tell you all about an interesting topic. They cover a wide range of topics from science, history, politics, whatever really. They are really well researched and delivered in a friendly and interesting way. If you are planning to listen to it with a hangover, pick your episode wisely. Look at the titles and pick the one on quinoa or something. Obviously don't listen to one on like a gruesome disease. And don't listen to the one on magnets unless you think you're a lot more intelligent than I am, because that one broke my brain. I listened to it 3 times and I still don't know how magnets work. I'm pretty sure they're magic. Finally, I want to mention Let's Drink About It, because if you're looking for a cocktail podcast, this is your best option. As 3 amazing hosts, they get great guests and they have fantastic cocktail recipes. The reason I bring it up is because you might think that listening to people discuss and consume alcohol is a bad idea with a hangover, and it probably is for some people. But I find that if I can't see or smell it, I'm usually fine. So if you're looking for something to listen to and you're into cocktails, I would definitely recommend checking this one out. That's the review for this week. If you liked it, subscribe for a new video every Sunday. And like I said, there was a reason I was reviewing podcasts this week. That's because I have a podcast out now. It's called Dogcare Presents. It's me and my friend Ross attempting to teach each other about various aspects of pop culture. The first episode is out now, in which I attempt to teach Ross all about Superman. The new episode will be out every Tuesday. Please check that out. You can do that by searching Dogcare Presents in your podcast thing, or you can go to dogcarenetwork.com. If you have a suggestion for a hangover review, leave it in the comments, tweet me at Hangover Reviews, get me the Hangover Reviews Facebook page, or email me at hangoverreviews@gmail.com. Have a good hangover, I'll see you next Sunday.